My impulse is telling me, become low, sit down. My instinct is telling me, stand up on the reformer. You'll feel better after you do it. Hello, welcome to another Pilates reformer workout. My name is Melanie, your mildly goth Pilates instructor. I think I'm going to start off honoring my impulse and taking it easy, and then we'll end honoring my instinct and pushing it a little harder. We're gonna start on 3 heavy springs and 1 light, AKA 3 red, 1 blue. Headrest will be up, meet me lying down on the machine. And if you are not yet subscribed, please hit the subscribe button so I can see you again. I post new workouts every Tuesday. If you would like even more, please consider joining my membership. I post exclusive workouts and you get access to additional perks. Let's get started. I'm gonna begin with my arches on the outer corner of the foot bar. I'm gonna be in pyramid position, scooch away from the shoulder blocks. Neutral spine, so the bottom of your sacrum is heavy on the mat. Rib cage down. Let's exhale, extend long. Inhale, bring it back with control slowly. Continuing on, we're going to press out. Track knees right over toes. Bring it back in. Let's go for another 6 to make it 8. Exhaling as you press away. Inhale as you bring it in. Take care to make sure you get even pressure through both feet. Good. Nice and steady and slow to begin. Got plenty of time to push it. Good, let's continue on. Just trying to make sense of why I'm so tired today, so fatigued. And it occurred to me, it was like, you're PMSing. I just took a road trip with my 3-year-old. It's a lot of reasons to be, and she's sick. It's a lot of reasons to be tired. I'm sure you have your own too. Let's rally gently. Let's take our last one. We're going to push all the way out, bring it halfway home so the carriage is halfway back. Tiny pulses up and down. Find the spot where you feel the glutes engage the most. We're going to go for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Big breath in. Extend the legs long. Exhale, bring it in. So next we're going to rotate internally. So knees face each other. If they can touch, fantastic. If not, don't worry about it. Toes will track there as well. We're going to press out and in for 8. So feeling a little bit of a different spot in the hip flexors start to activate. Good. This is 6. I encourage you to use your breath. 5, 4, last 3, final 2, and 1. Good, now we're gonna go for hip circles. So we're gonna open the knees to external rotation at the bottom, press out, rotate to internal rotation at the top, bring it back in. So knees point out on the way out, knees point in on the way in. Let's go for 4 more. Once that feels comfortable, start to smooth it out. Good, 2 more. This shouldn't be really grippy, it should be fluid. Now we reverse. Knees stay pointed inward on the way out. Open the legs, or extend the legs. Open the knees at the top. Bring them together at the bottom. Knees internally rotate as you extend. Externally rotate to bring it in. Internally rotate, extend. Knees out, way in. 3 more. Smooth it out. If you did the wrong direction on the first set, just reverse it. Doesn't have to be one way specifically to start. Good. Close the stopper, we'll move on. So next for more glutes, I'm gonna bring the heels to the foot bar. Knees are together, thighs are, or as close as you can to that, thighs are squeezed together. Flex the feet at the ankles as best as you're able to. Neutral spine, exhale, push through the heels, press away. Bend the knees, bring it back in. Take care not to rock the feet back and forth. We really want to keep that flexion in the ankle. Focus on ankle mobility while we're here. If it rocks a little bit, it's not a big deal. Think about your pinky toe reaching for your nose just as much as your big toe is, and vice versa. Good. Think about both legs straightening at the same time. And as the legs extend long, I like to think about the belly button zipping up toward your sternum and relaxing as you come down. Good. Let's do 2 more. And 1. Good. Halfway home, just as we did in our second position. Tiny pulses. Find the spot where your glutes are most engaged. Let's go for 6 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Big inhale. Exhale, extend it long. Bend the knees, bring it in. I felt that one in my quads quite a bit too. Next, we're gonna go into Pilates V. Toes apart, heels together, heels raised, toes on the bar. We're gonna press out and in. Stretching the legs. Inhale, bring it in. 7. And in. Stretching the legs as long as you can. Get the knees straight at the top. And bring it in. Smooth it out. Heels stay lifted high. Exhaling as you press away. Inhale as you bring it in. Make sure you keep your ribs down. If they start to poke up, it can really compromise your ability to stabilize through the core. Good. 3 more. You guessed it. After we do these last 2, we're going to go for our tiny pulses. Which, thank you to those on Instagram who messaged that they both enjoy and hate them. Amy and Aaron, you guys are so funny. Bend the knees halfway home. We're going to take tiny pulses up and down. Let's go for 8, 7. And I feel you, by the way. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Big inhale, exhale. Extend long. Bend the knees. Bring it home. Yeah, I feel mad at myself now too. Let's go for a quick figure 4 stretch. Right ankle crosses the left knee. Thread your hands through your legs. Just pull your right shin, or left shin, excuse me, in toward your torso. You can give a little pressure on your right leg if you need to. For a deeper stretch, let's switch. Left ankle over right thigh. Hold on to your right shin or right hamstring. Pull it in a little bit toward your body. You can press away on the left thigh if you need to. Good. Release, and let's continue on. I changed my mind. We're going to do one more for footwork. All right, now we're going to bring the balls of the feet to the foot bar. This time, heels will be lifted. We're going to keep them high as if we're in a releve position. Spine is neutral, so bottom of the sacrum is on the mat. If you see, that's very subtle. It's not an arch, but it's just getting your neutral spine alignment here, ribs down. We're going to press out and bring it in. And I should mention, I switched onto 3 reds because my legs are tired. You can do the same if you like, or continue to challenge yourself with 3 reds and a blue. Good, slow control. Let's take it for 6. And bend. This is 5. And bend, and something that I learned in ballet, which I like to carry over into Pilates, is the idea of constant motion. So we're not extending, holding, and bringing it back. We're in constant motion until we hit that extension, and we bring it all the way back. Once the stopper is almost closed, we continue on. We're not hanging out in one position. That can really help you with getting full control of the movement and of your muscles. Let's do one more here. And bend it halfway home. You know I'm going to do it to both of us. Let's take tiny pulses up and down for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Big inhale, exhale. Extend it long before you go in. Now we're going to bend one leg, stretch the other, lift. Bend one leg, stretch the other. So you're getting a little calf stretch, a little lift. Good. It's kind of like our running in parallel, but now we're in external rotation with the feet wide. You'll notice I've got my accent down on the low part instead of the up. It's intentional right now because I need a calf stretch. But why don't we reverse that in a second? After this next one, now we're going to find an up accent. So if you see the difference, instead of down, up, we're going up, up. So a little more energy, a little more lightness, a little more calf activation rather than a stretch. Don't worry, we'll stretch out a little bit at the end of this. Good. 2 more each side. Last one. Pause in the stretch here. Push that heel under the foot bar in the straight leg. Big breath in, exhale. And press the opposite heel under straight leg. Try to feel both hips equally heavy on the mat so you're not rotating over. Good. Straighten both legs, lift the heels if they dropped, bend the knees, and let's move on. Next, I've switched on to one red and one blue, or one heavy and one light spring. Both straps are going to come into my hands. We're just going to do a quick warm up for upper body. We'll do some coordination and get into ab work after that. So it's a plan. Now let's extend the arms up over the shoulders. Palms will face forward. You want the hands right over the shoulders, or just about. Both legs over the hips. I'm going to press the legs down, legs are on tabletop, and raise them back up. Let's continue on. Press the arms down, raise it back up. As always, your options are to add in the curl up with the head, neck, and chest, to extend one leg, alternating sides, out to 45 degrees or lower. Other options, extend both legs out to 45, out and in, or extend out and leave them there. You can combine any of that with the curl. So I'm going to continue leaving them right where they are. And I'm going to keep my head down, but you're welcome to add on any of those. Good, and let's continue on for 3, 2, and 1. Plant the arms down, bend the elbows, tricep extensions. Let's go for 8. So elbows are tight to the waist. We're keeping the elbows planted on the mat, just hinging at the elbows, pressing the palms into the mat without curling my shoulders forward. Shoulders are staying rolled wide, plugged into the mat. 2 more. And 1, good. Straighten out the arms, raise the arms up over the shoulders. Next, we move into coordination. So I'm going to curl up, press the palms down, legs go to 45. I'm going to bend the knees in, bend the elbows, press out. Open the legs, close the legs. Bend the knees in, bend the elbows in. I'm staying in my curl. Press out, open, close. Knees in, elbows bent. Press out, open, close. Knees in, elbows in. 2 more. Press out, open, close. Knees in, bend the elbows. Press out, open, close. Bend the knees, bend the elbows, rest the head. Place your feet down on the foot bar. Rock your knees side to side. Take a breath. Oh, okay, let's continue on. So when you're ready, place the right strap on the arch of the right foot, left strap on the arch of the left foot. Scoot yourself down away from the shoulder blocks. Legs will start in parallel. Get the bottom of your sacrum on the mat. Legs up to 90 degrees. Lower and lift. Nothing crazy. Just going down and up. Lower down and lift. So a couple things I see commonly in group classes in the studios, people try to get their legs up to 90 by lifting the tailbone up. That's not exactly what we're after right now. What you want to see is creasing at the hip or hinging at the hip. So nothing's changing in the pelvis. I'm still keeping the bottom of the sacrum really heavy on the mat. All that's happening is I'm creasing at the hip. And if that means that your 90 degrees is not fully 90, that's fine. I'd rather see the ideal spinal alignment than the legs fully at 90 degrees. Let's continue. Good. And last 2. And 1. Good. Let's continue on. I'm going to do something that I typically teach on a Cadillac or a tower with leg springs. We're going to lower down to 45. Open the legs to hip distance, lower them down a few inches, close them, raise them back up, draw in the box. Open, lower, close, lift. Open, lower, close, lift. If that's feeling very doable, lower the height of the whole thing. Keep the legs lower this whole time. So I'm drawing a box shape with my legs and trying to keep the pelvis really stable. Definitely add some core challenge, which I like, and I think it's kind of fun. Maybe you disagree. Maybe our definitions of fun are very different. Good, let's reverse. Lower down, open at the bottom, lift it up, close. Lower, open, lift, close. So you don't want this to be really big. We're not going for a rectangle. You want to do just a square. And the whole motion is pretty small. So this one's fun on reformer, but if you have access to a tower, a Cadillac, or a springboard, I really recommend trying this out with leg springs. It really, once you have 2 unique springs that have unequal support, it's really a truth teller, and I think it's so fun. If you want to see Cadillac Tower or springboard content this summer, please let me know. Last one. Good. Okay, let's lift the legs up to 90 degrees. And let's turn to external rotation. So heels together, toes apart. Let's take our leg circles, but today we're going to do them in external rotation. So lower, draw the legs around, lower down, heels together, and lift. So our legs are wrapping out from the hip. Each time the legs meet, it's the heels touching together first, squeezing the inner thighs together at the top. Good. Nice and steady. Keeping the ribs down. Last 3. And again, taking the range that makes sense for you. You don't have to make this super wide. As long as you have control of the pelvis and it's not wiggling around, that works for me. Good. Now let's reverse. Still an external rotation. Legs press down, heels open, around, together. Heels together, squeeze the inner thighs. Let's go for 7 more to make it 8. Exhaling as you press. Good, and if you need to slow this down to keep control of the pelvic stability, that's completely fine. Good, 4 more. Think about the belly button zipping up to your sternum again as you press through the straps. Last 2. Make sure the legs meet all the way together before you lower. And lift, very nice. Now we're gonna flex the feet at the heels. Bending through the ankle, flex the feet through the ankle, not the heels. Bending at the ankle, we're gonna press out to 45 degrees. We're gonna go for Peter Pan, the exercise. So left leg will bend, right leg goes out to the side. Push through the left strap, both legs straighten out and meet at 45 or lower. Bend the right leg, alternating sides. Push through that right strap, both legs meet out at center. Keep this going, alternating sides. Get that really good push. So we're getting inner thighs and glute engagement as you push forward, pushing through that heel. Let's do 3 more each side. Check in with your pelvis and your ribs. Make sure the ribs are down. Pelvis stays really steady even though you have unequal pressure and force happening through those ropes and those straps. Good, and resist the springs on the way in just as much as you do on the way out. Last set. Push. Bend a leg and push. Very nice. Lift the legs up to 90, heels together, soles of the feet together, pardon me. Feet come down into the well or to the mat. Hold on to the ropes. Let your knees relax out to the side. Take a moment to close your eyes. I can nap here. I'm not kidding when I say I'm tired. Let's extend the right leg out to the side. Oh, geez. That was bananas. My tape slipped. So be careful, hold the leg out to the side, give it a little pull. Bring it into center, left leg, Peter Pan stretch, not the movement. Flex the foot, pull the rope to bring the leg a little closer in. You probably guessed, extend the legs up to the ceiling 90 degrees, flex the feet, pull the ropes to intensify that stretch and make sure your pinky toes are pointing toward your hips just as much as your big toe. Good, let's take the straps off of the feet and we'll get ready to move on. So next, please switch yourself onto 1 red spring or 1 heavy spring. We're going to go into rollbacks / reverse teasers. So I threaded my hands through the loops. I'm grabbing onto the ropes above the hardware or above the knots. My feet are flat on the headrest. I'm going to lift up out of my lumbar spine, squeeze my legs together, and if you need to move your feet forward a little bit, that's fine. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start rolling down through the spine using my abdominals, not pulling on the ropes, using my core to control all of this. I'm going to find my nice big C curve. My chin is knotted down. I'm going to roll up, again, slowly with control, keeping that curve until I hit the top, and I unfurl the spine, getting out of my lumbar curve, or my lumbar rounding. Deep breath in, let's continue on. Good. Exhale, rolling down, not keeping the shoulders up by the ears, really thinking about widening the collarbone. Exhale, roll it up slowly with control. Don't let the springs retracting move you. You move the springs. Okay, good. Roll it down. This one is so simple, but I think so good. Really, really good for your deep core. Good. Roll it all the way up. Roll back. Good. You don't need to be totally flat to the mat, but almost like you're finding your curl up if you were lying down on the machine or on a mat. Let's do our last one here. Roll the pelvis under. Find your curve. So we're holding in this curve, belly button's pulling in. I'm going to lift one leg to tabletop, place it down, marching. Lift the other leg to tabletop, place it down. Shoulders are staying rotated out. Good. Lots of ab work here. 2 more each side. And switch. Good. Both feet go down. Keep the curve as you roll up. Squeeze the inner thighs. Restack the spine at the top. We'll move on. All right, next I'm going to scoop my bottom really far forward. Your heels and feet can be on the headrest. I'm going to roll down, but this time I'm going to be just roll down so that the bottom tips of my shoulder blades are touching the mat, so it's a little bit deeper. I'm going to raise one leg to tabletop, other leg meets it. Going to extend both legs to about 70 degrees. I'm going to tilt to one side, come back to center. Tilt to the other side, come back to center, obliques. This is too much, you can always bring the legs to tabletop. But if you can, extend the legs. It's halfway between your 45-degree lower and your 90-degree lift. 2 more each side. Switch. Shoulders are staying rolled back. And switch. Bend the legs to tabletop. Place the legs back down, feet on the headrest. Use your abdominals to roll up. And let's get rid of the straps. We'll move on. All right, I'm glad I said something about doing standing work at the beginning of this video because I don't know if I would be doing it right now otherwise. Let's get into a little standing work for legs and core. So I placed on 1 red spring or 1 heavy spring. I'm going to walk around carefully, step on the sandpaper side or the platform side, and then the mobile bed side. We'll move on. Facing the right side of the machine from the back, on 1 red spring or 1 heavy spring. Left foot goes to the platform, right foot goes to the carriage. So I'm just going to begin pressing the carriage out and in. So, thing to note with this exercise, you can go a little bit out, you can go very far out, depending on how your body's feeling. For me, with the heavy spring, getting more glute med here. If you feel like your foot is slipping, you can place a box to the side and put your foot right up against that, or you can place your foot pretty close to the edge so you have a little something to push on. Okay, let's go for another 4. Last 3. Final 2. And 1, controlling the springs on the way in. Next, I'm going to switch on to 1 blue spring. We'll target the inner thighs a little bit more. So pardon me, we're going to switch around on the springs a little bit for the series. So place your foot wherever it feels stable and comfortable to you. I'm going to begin pressing out, hands on hips to begin. Hips stay even. Draw the carriage back in. Press out to your low point. Draw the carriage in slowly with control. Press the carriage out. Think about your head lifting up. When that feels comfortable, you can extend the arms out and bring them down to your hips or leave them here. Good. So legs are in parallel to begin. Good. Let's continue on for another 2. And 1. Good. We did a little bit of internal rotation in the footwork portion of this workout. Let's continue that here. So I'm going to begin turning my toes to face inward, my heels out, but rotating from the hips. I'm going to begin pressing the carriage out, drawing the carriage in with control. So this is going to be a smaller movement than the last one, most likely. So again, each time you come in, squeeze the inner thighs together, head reaches up toward the ceiling. Good. Let's go for our last 4 to make it 8. If you'd like to explore the arms moving out, you're welcome to do that. And out. Last 2. Good. Make sure those hips are still rotating inward. Good. Close the carriage with control. Next, let's switch back onto that red spring or that heavy spring. I'm going to squat down. My knees are right over my heels. I'm going to place my hands in a prayer position. You can have them on the hips as well. I'm going to begin pressing the right foot out and in. Adjust your foot if you need to. So it's either up against the box, flat on the mat, or slightly against that outside edge. So for this one, you want to find your deepest squat you can. Good. We're going to go for 8 in this direction. You got 3. 2, press into that left heel to work your standing side. And last one. Good. Keep the squat. Stay low. Press against that left foot. Bring it in. This is 7. 6. The prayer hands can be for praying that you get through this. Good. 4 more. This is 3. You want to keep your weight really centered over that right leg so it's not going side to side on you. And last one. Now we alternate sides. Right leg in, left leg in. This is your speed skater. Right leg in, left leg in. Let's go for 4 more to make it 6. Left leg in. Good. Really feeling glutes, inner thighs here. Last 2. And switch. If you're not sweating, you might be soon. Good. Bend the knees, both knees, bring the carriage in, close the stopper, and stand up nice and tall. Step the right foot down behind you onto the floor. Left foot comes down. We're going to walk around, turn to the other side, and we'll continue on. I forgot to mention, I had to put on a different lens here, seeing more of this room. My members have already met the ugly heater. Please welcome to the stage, ugly in a heater. Place your right foot up on the sandpaper. Sorry, you're gonna stare at the back of me now. Left foot comes up to the mat or the mobile bed. Place your foot on the side, up against a box, or you can even gently wrap your foot around the edge of the carriage. Hands on hips to start. We're still on that red or that heavy. Press the carriage out and in. With this heavy spring, we're really targeting glute medius. So probably feeling it more through this space than through the inner thighs. Shoulders are down. Control on the way out. Control on the way in. 3 more. Again, head reaches up to the ceiling as you close. Gentle stopper closure. And last one. Good. Close the stopper. We're going to switch to 1 blue spring or 1 light spring. Now we're going to continue on. This one's more for inner thighs. So you can start with your hands on your hips. We're going to press the carriage away, knees facing forward to start. Head reaches up as you bring the carriage in. Out with control, in with control. Oops. Let's go for 6. And in, and when you're ready, you can begin to float the arms up if you like. 4. Grow taller as you bring it in. 3. Final 2. And up. And 1. And a lift. Close the stopper. Next, we're going to move into internal rotation. So hips rotated so that toes point towards each other, heels point away. I'm going to keep my hands on my hips for this one. I'm going to press away, bring it in. So my range is much smaller, personally. Try not to tweak the knee too much. This internal rotation doesn't have to be too extreme. But we just want to feel the hip flexors and your thighs working a little bit differently. Good. Let's go for 4. Last 3. Keeping those hips wrapping inward, heels wrapping out 2. And last 1. Lift the head, close the stopper. So next up, I've switched back onto the red or the heavy spring. I'm going to find my squat. My hands will be in prayer position or hands on the hips. I'm going to begin in this deep squat, knees right over heels. I'm going to press the left leg out, bring it in. I'm keeping my weight centered on top of that right leg. I'm not pushing the weight out. I'm not pushing my center out as the leg moves. Staying nice and stable. My center staying rooted. Last 3. 2, find a little bit of a deeper squat, and 1. Good, now we're going to shift our weight over to the left leg, and we're going to press away on the right side. Reset your feet if you need to. Extend the right leg, and back. Your weight is centered over the left leg, so that left knee is not getting away from you. Good. You've got 4 more. 4, shoulders relax. 3, stretch 2, and 1. Good. Back to center. Now we alternate sides, speed skater. Find your low point. Left, in, right, in. So center yourself each time before you switch your legs, so your leg isn't getting away from you. 4 more. And switch. Abs supporting you the whole time. Switch. And left. Switch. Find a little bit lower if you can. Last set. And switch. Back to center. Close the stopper. Stand up tall. Step your left foot down, your right foot down. Let's move on. So next, we're gonna push it a little bit. We're gonna go into our long stretch, down stretch, knee stretch, long back series. So if you don't know what that means, don't worry, I got you. I placed on 2 reds or 2 heavies. I lifted up the headrest. If you have a sticky pad, place it on the headrest. If not, consider wearing some grip locks so you don't slip. And I'm going to bring both feet to the headrest, legs squeezed together, hands shoulder distance apart. I'm going to begin lifting up into a plank position. I'm gonna press out for 5. Bring the carriage in. So just the shoulder angle is opening. You've got 3. Last 2. And 1. Very good. Bring it in. Bring your knees down to the machine. Toes will curl up against the shoulder blocks behind you. Knees hip distance apart. Heels pressed up against the blocks. I'm going to bring my hips forward. Shine my sternum forward. Gaze stays up. I'm going to press out and in for 8. 7. Gaze stays forward. 6. So getting a lot of shoulder. Some core here too. Well, a decent amount of core. Last 4. 3. Final 2. And 1. Good. Close the carriage. Wipe off your hands if your palms are sweaty, which mine are. We're going to bring our hands back to the foot bar. Next, we're going to keep our feet up against the shoulder blocks. Lift up the knees, and we're going to press out and in. Let's go for 10. 9. 8. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Close the stopper, lower one knee, lower the other knee. Find a child's pose, resting your bottom down on your heels. Extend your arms long, let your chest fall down. Open up through the shoulders. Good. Take a big 360-degree breath, expanding the ribcage in every direction. Exhale, release. Roll up to sitting. Let's move on. Next, let's move on to long back stretch. This is one that I personally am working on. We'll keep it on the 2 reds or 2 heavies. We're going to bring our hands to the foot bar behind you. If you have wrist issues, I don't recommend this one for you. I'd skip this one. But if you're good, let's move it on. We're going to flex the feet. Put the soles of the feet and the heels right up against the shoulder blocks. Arms are going to be straight behind you. Weight in your palms. We're going to bend the elbows, go for a tricep dip. Push the carriage out, straightening the arms. Lift the hips, bring it in. Bend the elbows, arms go down, or butt goes down. Lift the hips, bring it in. Legs are staying straight. One last one. Dip down, straighten the arms. Lift the hips, bring it in. We reverse. Press the carriage out, arms straight. Lower the hips, bend the elbows. Press it up. 2 more. Good. This is one where we don't need to live here, thankfully. Good. Close the stopper, step off. Let's be done with that. All right, since we just did a lot, more than I even meant to today, let's go for a nice long scooter stretch and also a supplementary hamstring and glute stretch. So we'll spend a decent amount of time here. So I'm going to come to a lunge position with my right foot on the outside of the machine. Left foot will come up against the shoulder block behind you. Let's start curling the pelvis under. So I'm not on a neutral spine. I'm actually in a tucked position. And I'm going to stay here. Just send the left knee back behind me. I can also flex up through the upper spine. to deepen the stretch through the hip flexor, if that works for you. Or keep the spine neutral as long as the pelvis is tucked under. Good. After about 5 or 6 of those, we're going to begin pressing out, letting that lumbar spine relax and go into a natural curve. Good. Bring the carriage in. And really think about squaring your hips off this time. So both hip bones are facing forward, particularly your left hip bone. That's the one that's likely to want to spiral out. Good. Let's extend back again, keeping the right knee bent. Send the carriage away, opening up through your left hip. Bring it in. Now keep that left leg bent, hips stay square. You're going to extend your front leg, flex the feet. If you'd like to bring your forearms down to the foot bar, that feels good to you, feel free. That feels a little unstable for me, so I'm gonna keep my hands planted, but you do you. Good, bring it back. If you'd like to take it further, you can press out to your full split. If not, stick with the hamstring stretch. Both legs straighten out as best as possible. Push through the foot bar, not pull. Front and back leg extend. Yours may not look like that. If you can get here, fantastic. Do what you can. I am genetically flexible, so I'm not the yardstick to measure against. Good. Bring the carriage in. Let's go for the other side. Good. Left foot comes to the outside of the machine. Right foot goes back behind you. Hands shoulder distance apart on the foot bar. Square off the hips so your right hip is pointing directly forward. Let's curl the pelvis under. You can flex the upper spine if you'd like. Just send that knee back and forth. We're going to floss it for 5 or 6. Good. This is 3. Last 2. And 1. Now let's press the carriage away, letting your lumbar spine relax and have a natural curve. Keep your hips square. That's going to give you the best stretch here. Bring it in. Really wrap that right hip directly forward. I like to keep the chest lifted for this one. That feels the best for me with the hip stretch. But if you'd like to bring the forearms down to the foot bar, that can feel good too. Especially if you have some ab separation, this arch may not feel the best for you. Good. Next time we go back, after this next one I should say, we're going to prepare for our hamstring stretches. So now the right leg stays bent, hips are square. We're just going to straighten out the left leg, flex the foot, and again, you can bring forearms down. You can lower the chest, if even keeping the hands on the foot bar. Whatever gets it done for you. You can flex the foot or leave it where it is. Good. And on the next one, you can either repeat that or go for your full split. Both legs extend. My knee just slipped. That's what that noise was. Good. And bend both legs. I'm going to take it one more time, keeping the hips as square as possible. Good. Nice big stretch as far as you can go. Does not have to be extreme. Good. Very nice. Close the stopper. Turn to face center, and you did it. Thank you so much. If you were debating whether or not to work out today, I'm proud of you. Proud of myself too for getting through it, but I'm really proud of you. If you're not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button so I can see you again. And if you're not yet a member, please consider joining. You get access to exclusive membership content, including brand new workouts that the main channel doesn't see. Thank you so much to my membership subscribers. You guys are keeping me going. Thank you so much to the super thanks supporters. You guys are amazing. And if you're looking to tag on to this workout, I'm gonna add some options over here. Thank you so much. Love you guys. Bye-bye.